And we're back, everybody. It is the Monday Not So Live show. Boy, do we have an awful lot to cover. We got the 4-box going today. If you're an NFL fan, this is kind of how your television might look. Ian K from the UK. Does your television look like this on Sundays when you're watching the American football? Or are you only watching the Buffalo Bills?
It doesn't, because I'm a cheapskate that refuses to pay premium DASAN. So I can either watch Red Zone or pick a game. I can't watch the Quad Square. I guess you get Quad Square in Red Zone, don't you, from time to time?
Yes, or the Octo. We're going to go to the Octo box early in the game. Well, listen, while I'm introducing our other two guests, Ian, I think I'm hearing you through the main mic, not your other mic. So I'm going to welcome in our regular guest, Cheryl and Dave, both fresh back from Austin. Ian, you want to check us again on your microphone?
By all means, that much better, clearer.
There we go. Now you're a professional podcaster. And listen, go ahead.
I was going to say, I use Zoom because Zoom is the absolute worst thing to podcast with, except everything else. It's plug in and play, restream. It's good for what you use it for, but it definitely relies on people knowing the way we're restream. I was late, so apologies for holding you guys up a little bit because it took me forever to work out the camera.
Okay, I'm really sorry about that.
I had the same issue before.
But now we all know. I love Restream. We can talk about that later. But listen, there's been a lot of talk in the last 24 hours. So I'm sure the first thing everyone wants to talk about, we have brand new champions of the Trifecta World Championship. I'm sure that's exactly what you guys wanted to talk about. Massive weekend in West Virginia. Did you follow it all, Dave?
I haven't had a chance to watch, but I plan to. And I do know that my boy Brendan Neely did very well. So I'm excited about that.
So see, I thought I would get a chuckle because you guys don't pay attention to Spartan. But
no, I totally, dude. I still love OCR. I'm still down with it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not what it was. So obviously, we can't expect it to be. But like I said, I do know Brendan Neely did well, and I'm looking forward to watching some video and seeing exactly how it went.
I was kept up to date almost by the minute by my photography team of Joe Martello. He was sending me a lot of great stuff. But we're here to talk about hybrid fitness. I want to start with Deca Austin because it sounds like, Dave, did you lose your voice?
Yeah, this is my Monday voice.
Do you always have this on Mondays?
No, well, when I do an event, yeah.
Okay.
Especially when I did the event in Austin, then landed and went right to Farm Girl to do their event. So there was a lot of screaming.
Okay.
A lot of yelling.
Were you yelling at participants?
Yeah.
He was being very encouraging.
This is encouraging yelling, Matt.
He's just Yancey 2.0 now, is what he is.
Yeah, man. It's like, you got to give him that extra bit to go.
Okay. And then Cheryl, how was your weekend in Austin?
I was really glad to be there. I had a really good time. I raced on Friday. My husband raced on Friday, and then that allowed me to just kind of enjoy all the Saturday stuff. So I judged for an hour or so. And I don't know why anybody doesn't judge. I just think I always walk away with new heroes after I've met. There are some people who've just really stood out to me, just how hard they worked. And that was really, really great. So, and yeah, stayed around for the elite race, got to see the relay Friday night. So I feel like I had a really full weekend.
Well, I feel like we should probably start there.
About Cheryl first, though.
Go ahead.
Cheryl's a legit celebrity at DEKA now. like seriously, I was doing my thing and wandering around and doing what I'm doing, and I can't tell you how many people I heard go Cheryl, and oh, that's Cheryl, she's a badass, and all this stuff. Legitimate celebrity status.
Look, it was very, very nice to meet some people. I was running with this girl. I met Allison Claxton, who this was her first DEKA. It was really great to just kind of, I stood there in the line and helped her, gave her little tips and stuff. And, I feel like I know what I'm doing out there. So it was really fun.
How did I not meet her?
I know, right? I thought she was somehow related to you, but clearly not. So. She's from Dallas.
Nope.
All right. Well, we definitely want to hear more about Austin, but since we've got Ian for a short amount of time, because it's already late in the PM there. Ian, I remember I woke up, I was looking at the coverage, and I said, how are the vibes? And you said, great vibes. So let's start there. I guess kind of what was your expectation with the first ever fit? Because you've been to a couple strongs, right, over there?
Yeah, I've been to a couple of strongs over here. I honestly don't know what I was expecting. Obviously, I've been to Spain, so I've seen Spanish events. I know, Cheryl, that you're a big fan of the Spanish events, and hopefully you can come over. Come over? No, I'm in the UK. Hopefully you can head over there at some point and experience that. I'll definitely recommend Madrid, even though they've changed the venue from a Visnik centre. But you can make it to Madrid. Lovely city. Zaragoza's nice too. But anyway, so I've been to the Spanish events. I wasn't sure whether this would be up to the same kind of vibe because it was the first event for Team UK, and honestly, they knocked it out of the park. I know I'll give a quick shout out to Emma Waring, our good friend who Dave knows as well, who I know was helping out DEKA UK in the early stages to secure this venue in Derby. Sorry, East Midlands, but it is Derby. And it is a wonderful venue. I wasn't sure what to expect, and it was really, really good, up there with some of the Spanish ones.
Hang on. How did you hear that? One of my sources, which I have many, said it was definitely, I'm going to just read what they wrote. It wasn't quite on par with Madrid, which is their best venue, the Spain one, but on par with most of the others. So right away, it was marked as good as the Spain ones, and we understand the Spain ones are done quite well. But I guess Madrid is what makes Madrid so special? Why is it sort of the headline?
Well, in the old venue, I'm not sure who your source is, but Madrid changed venue recently. But most UK athletes went to when it was in the Visnik Centre, as it was called. Imagine doing a DEKA in Madison Square Garden.
Well, I think that's a pretty good event.
Yeah, exactly. It is on par with Madison Square Garden, on par with in the UK the O2 Arena or the AO Arena up here. So yes, but I know a lot of the other Spanish events are at smaller venues, very similar to East Midlands.
Before we get into machine controversy, before we get into Erggate, I did hear from at least one elite, another one of my many sources, that there weren't as many judges in all the stations, and he said he had to count his own reps in one or two of the stations. He said, I don't know, I could have been the only one, so I don't want to speak for the whole race, but how was, not even quality of judging, just amount of judges, how were they doing there?
I presume that your source was probably a solo elite. There was a little bit of an issue on Saturday morning for whatever reason. I'd say 1/3 of the judges sadly didn't turn up. It happens, Dave. You've been there. You've done that. I hope I'm not betraying any confidences here, but yeah, they had less judges than they'd like. Big shout out to Mike Nolan, who did a bang up job of trying to rotate the judges around the elite waves to try and ensure that as many athletes as possible had a judge counting reps. Unfortunately, as often happens in the UK, we had more than one wave for the elite. So I suspect people in, say, the second or third wave may not have quite got the same experience as those in first wave. Also, what Mike did was he delayed the start of the female elite until the end of the male elite so he could reset the judges to ensure that there was. But I think, please don't quote me, although I'm on a podcast here, I'd estimate maybe 20 or 21 judges covering the entirety of the DEKA arena, and there were 10 athletes in each wave. So,
and to tell the American audience who Mike is like one of those guys who's gone above and beyond everywhere he's ever been as a volunteer, as a judge, Spartan, DEKA. I think he's HYROX. He's been a head judge. So I would say Claxton level of commitment and care.
Yeah, absolutely. They even shop at the same breakfast place.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons.
Timmy Hose.
Yeah, absolutely. Saturday,
You didn't see that story, man?
Saturday we went to Tim Hortons because Mike insisted. I was driving him over. Mike insisted we headed over to Tim Hortons, which they have in Derby. I think he had pancakes, actually, a real American breakfast, which of course got him in the mood to kick butt out there and ensure that as many elites as possible got a great experience. But Matt, yeah, your source is probably not lying. There's a good chance that one or two may have been counting their own reps. What the judges were trying to do is, and this is going to really insult your source, and I apologize, fast people and then pick up the slower athletes, if that makes any sense at all. When it came to counting reps, yeah, they did the best they could.
Yeah, it's a constant problem. Like it does happen. I'll be honest, I don't think I've seen it with us for elites yet, but very much happens a lot of time with the age groupers. And I'll be straight out. There were times this weekend where I was counting five tanks at a time. So like I counted 5 tanks. So
how did you do that? Did you have a dry erase board?
No, so and seriously, I'll tell you how to do it, because Tara Pipia, when she was on the other side, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, get the next and don't talk to me," because I had one in each hand, a clicker in each hand, and the other one my voice.
Yeah, I could never do that.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's a trick.
Yeah.
It's a trick. I wish somebody had got it on video.
I have to look at my phone every time I get back from a round when I program one of my own little DEKA workouts in the backyard. I'm like, what am I doing?
I had a minor celebration after I pulled it off.
That's pretty.
Means your brain's still working, Dave. Nice job.
Yeah.
So again,
yeah, but my point is, yes, like Ian says, it is a constant struggle to try to have enough volunteer judges, and that it's just nature of beast. And I mean, we've run into that with HYROX too, where we've seen they've had to have the holding cell for people coming into the wall balls, and it just is the nature of the beast right now until more people buy in and keep. So please volunteer, step up.
I don't know, just thinking out loud, looking for solutions. Was there a way, like, again, for just the elites, like and again, I know you don't have as many affiliates as we do over here, but like just whoever knows the most affiliate people, whether that's the Yancey equivalent or Mike or whoever, just like, hey, I know you're racing in 2 hours or an hour. Can you please just help us judge the elites and like just kind of bang those through? Again, I know that people want to warm up and it's not possible, but I feel like let's get that right, especially when scores matter.
Okay. So how many did you say they had, Ian?
How many in each wave, or how many?
No, how many judges? You said like roughly 21 to do the whole thing, the whole field.
Yeah, roughly 21. To pick up quickly on Matt's point, there were a lot of affiliates. Sadly, most of them were running elite. Mm-hmm. So it was quite hard. But what we did find is in the afternoon, I won't say there was too many judges, but as those athletes finished, they absolutely threw on that jersey, went straight to judging. So the age groupers probably got overjudged compared to some of the elites. But it's a good point, Matt.
Yeah. So in a scenario like that, and that's one of the reasons that DEKA over here decided to move the elites to later in the day, so that some of the age groupers will have already run, and then you have more volunteers to pull from.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I think that would be a great solution. I know it's not favored by the elites, because I actually spoke to some of the elites after. I was saying, wouldn't you prefer to run midday? And they're like, oh no, I want to get it over and done with. But as Dave says, it's kind of balancing act, because no one wants to be there at 7 a.m. if they're racing at 3 p.m.
Yeah, and I've said this before too. Another reason that I pushed for that part too. I didn't actually necessarily push for the time they run now, but I wanted them later, because first thing in the morning, when you get your volunteers, you don't always know what you're getting. So that gives me time to assess, put people where they need to be, and make sure that the judging has had some time to practice to get ready for the elites, so that when they go, the judges are more dialed in.
Yeah, and also I do think it's a rough vibe when they were doing those 7 a.m. elite heats.
Yeah, nobody's there, man.
In the empty arena. That was
Like-
and again, I know that means the age group people will get an empty arena, but if we're growing the sports side, let's make the sports side look
Like,
cool.
Cheryl, how packed was that place for the elites when they went off this weekend?
It was just what you want. Like
Yeah.
just giant crowds of people moving from station to station. It just was so much better and a much better vibe. And I'll say as an age grouper, I've run like the 7:30 a.m. wave, and I don't know, like I don't need people. You know, you just get it done, right? So it's not.
I don't want any witnesses.
Yeah, no, that's really how I felt this week. And yeah, like you just want to go with your friends. It's fine. It's fine. So it's perfect for that.
I will say one counterpoint to having early elite waves. I absolutely loved having 12:30 podium so I could get my picture. I had that in the bag then. And then after that, everything else was gravy when it came to content. I had that picture. I was all done.
All right.
Yeah. You that's a solid point.
Now we know, Ian. Now we know you've really graduated because you're selfish about your own needs as a content guy. So now you've graduated. You're almost an influencer. You're this close. All right, let's get to these ergs. Damn it. First of all, I think I was half wrong in my video. I got really excited. Dustin was like, "Hey man, look at these machines," and he's like, "This is what chat said." And then I asked chat, and then as Ian and I went back and forth on messages. I've learned not to trust chat all the time. So I do like ask different ways because sometimes it just spits something out. You go, it's actually the opposite. And they go, you're right. Thanks for correcting me. It's like it just says it really casually.
Like Chat GTP still thinks HYROX stands for Hybrid Rockstar, by the way.
Well, listen, we're going to have to, you can't unring that bell. It's been in the internet too much.
I've tried.
So it looks like at the end of the day, the mutual we're hearing is the bike in that type of bike, the Tornado bike, is in fact 5 seconds ish faster per 250, but the other machines are about the same. Correct or incorrect, Ian?
I would say that's correct, although not 250, 25. That's why Dave pulled a face because it's 25 cal. I'd say it's probably even quicker than that. And yeah, it does seem to be quite a bit faster. The other ergs, I'll say the competitors on the day found them tougher. It may be because they were new machines, though. They're all brand spanking new machines. They may need to bed in a little bit. There's also a few issues. Some of the machines randomly lost where they were when it came to registering the distance. Because again, brand new machines, got a few bugs. Thankfully, superstar Mike Noland, who's going to have a massive head if he listens to this, was on the scene to give back time awards if people suffered with ergs. But yeah, what I heard, bike fine, although most people pulled a funny face. Rest of the ergs slightly harder, but I reckon that maybe they just felt harder because looking at comparing people's times. So for example, I used Jude, who was at the World Championships in Florida last year. And his time was about par came to in Florida and this past weekend. His bike, 30 seconds faster. Everything else, almost the same. I didn't go back and found out why he was almost on par. He must have lost the 30 seconds somewhere else. Everything else almost the same, which was surprising because you think he'd get better at the ski erg and better at the rower a year in. But yeah, bike's faster. Everything else. Nah.
Quick question before I forget, by the way. Someone's comment talked about the bikes counting down instead of up. I've never seen them count down.
They all do.
They all do that, at least in our DEKAs.
Every gym event I've been to is counted up.
So it's just a matter of setting the bike up for competition mode. So at the big events, it's much easier to just have it a competition mode because it counts down and then resets itself.
Just resets it. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, then I learned something new every day.
Yeah.
I haven't done a fit since Florida COVID times or whatever. But all the strongs I've been to, it was at the various gyms it's counted up. Okay, Dave, I want to hear your thoughts on all this erg business.
Okay, so first off, I actually did some math. Did some quick math.
Okay.
All right. So what I did is I went through, like Ian said, some of the people from England. What I did was I took the top 5 from England in elite men and women. And I would say quick math. I mean, literally, this is all I had time to do. So top 5 from England, men and women. And then for the US, for the women, I did 6 through 10 because their overall times were comparable. Right. So I wasn't like, for example, using Vivian and Kat and all those super faster women. Right. So what we came out with was very close to what Ian said. On the rower, the women from England, their average was 219. The women from the States, it was 220. On the ski, the women from England were 226. The women from the States were 226. It was the average of all 5 of these women. The bike, there was a big difference on the bike. However, there was a couple of outliers, and I'll read you. So top 5 women for England, 139 for first place. That's a 209 for second, 209 for third, 213 for fourth, 201 for fifth, which are quick. The States, so this was 6 through 10, 218, 145, a 234, a 255.
Did the 134 get off too early?
139?
Yeah.
No, she's just a good bike, man.
So she's a minute faster than everyone else.
No. She's like maybe 30 seconds, 20 seconds.
Okay.
30 seconds, 40 seconds. I mean, that's a Vivian Tavuto Heather White style time.
Okay.
So it's a fast time, but it's not ludicrous. More outliers were a couple of the ones in the States, the 234 and the 255 for women placing the top 10. Those are slow times. And those, so like the bike is so much harder to compare because it is such a strange animal. For the men, row, average of 157 in England, 158 in the States. Ski, 2 in England, 203 in the States. Bike in England, 123. Bike in the States, 127.
So it was the same for the men, but the women were different.
Yeah, the women had those couple of outliers that really, really threw it off. But in England, like I said, they were 4 seconds faster on the bike on average. And that was England's top 5 against 2 through 6 in the States. I kept Isaac out because Isaac's time was substantially quicker than the rest of the men.
Okay.
So the numbers kind of support what Ian's saying. It's pretty close. I think the row and the ski, I think, seem to be pretty even. Do I think more testing and numbers need to be done? Absolutely. This was quick math that I got back home. The bike, I definitely think needs a lot more research, but the bikes can be so hard to figure out. I mean, the only way I know how to figure out the bike is to send Kevin Gregory over to every bike and say, I need you to hit this RPM, this RPM, this RPM, and then tell me your perceived effort and tell me your wattage and tell me your time.
Do you typically do that?
I know that they have actually asked Kevin to do that before, yes.
And that's how they calibrate the bike?
No, that's how they've decided in the past if a bike was acceptable, and it was not. Now, I do not believe they did this for the English bikes because, well, I don't think they flew Kevin over.
Some guy said he was at a competition where the variance was so big they actually, because they had like 6 different brands, and they're like, all right, if you're on one of these, it's a 300 meters, and if you're on this one, it's a 400 meters, and
that was at a DEKA?
No. Some other race he was at. Well,
I was going to go nasty on the internet for a second.
Right.
Find some people down.
Well, and then somebody else was saying like, oh, well, DEKA FIT in Colorado is a completely different race, and
it is
lots of arguments here and there. So how important is it, Dave and Cheryl? How important is it that we get the exact same brand at all the races?
Are you going, Cheryl?
I want to hear you first.
No, damn it, Cheryl, step out. Do it. You're a DEKA ho. Do it.
Here's what I think. I think it is probably worth. Look, DEKA has an equipment list, right? There's authorized equipment. So there's certain bikes you can use and certain bikes you can't. There's certain skis you can use, certain, you can't. If there's legitimate concern that these things register differently, then offer a plus or minus time on each thing of equipment that they're using, right? I mean, that to me seems like, yeah, put some effort into it if you really think that it's a problem. and then offer time. Because look, my DEKA mile, I did it on a Rogue Echo bike.
Well,
Like,
that's harder.
right? That's going to change everything for me. It's going to make everything different. And if I'm like, you know, number 14, 15 on the global leaderboard, like, yeah, I'm going to be kind of upset that they gave me an Echo bike. Right. So, you know, they could offer a plus or minus.
But let's just talk about the fit. We know strongs and miles can vary. Let's just talk about the fit.
Well, and all I'm saying is that that's an example, is that if you're going to use, say, Rogue Echo bikes in a DEKA fit, that's going to be different than using an assault bike. And so offer a standardized plus or minus on a person's time based on the equipment that's being used. I mean, it seems like if it seems like that much of a concern, but given what Dave just said, maybe it's not, right? So I think there's just some work that could be done by the race company to give us a little more assurance that things are even.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Like, I think the time thing's an interesting concept, but in a perfect world, I want them all to be the exact same. But the problem I think you get into is the realism of different, like, and really with different. When you're just talking about the fits, though, is different countries have to get different things because of what's available to them, right? Like they used kettlebells for the farmer carry because I assume that that's what was available to them, right? And because the weights,
right? We know that Concept 2 is a global company, though.
It is, but there's also to the problem of being stuck using that one company, and if that company has issues or something goes wrong. I'm just saying, those are the things that they look at. Ideally, I'm a judge guy. I want everybody using the exact goddamn same thing. I will say, though, that I've tested, okay, for example, you use the assault bikes, right? Everybody uses assault bikes. Everybody can tell from an assault elite to an assault classic that there's a difference, right? You can put two assault classics side by side and you'll feel a difference between the two of them.
Ian K and I would not feel the difference. We would just be suffering for
Cheryl, have you been on? Because I can tell the difference from one. Like every gym you go to, they'll be like, "That's the fast bike."
I need to.
And they're all the same.
That's
the fast bike.
Quick shout out, by the way, JP from Ram, who commented that he can verify that all Rams are the same. So thanks for playing, JP. We appreciate it.
Nice job. Ian, I do have a question.
Dispute that. Sorry, Cheryl.
Well, okay, but just to this point, I will say that the course map is for your event was vastly different than what we usually get. Yes. There were like right-hand corners that people were having to take. Do you think that made a difference in the way people were able to? Yeah, it was 3 laps, right angles that they were having to take. Do you think that made a difference?
I do. I'm just going to pick up the point of JP made. That JP, I love him. He's a great guy, but he gave me a 66 that was painted up as 55. I am convinced that
that wasn't a joke. You were being serious?
No, I'm fairly. No, it was a joke, but it definitely felt like a 66 as I was doing burpees.
Those things are heavy.
They really, really are.
Yeah.
But Cheryl, to your point. Actually, give a shout out to Tanya, to TT Sports, who made this point when I was discussing with her earlier. Hope she doesn't mind me mentioning this, that, yeah, there's a good chance that the bikes were more favorable. We'll go with that. Dave, your stats are really, really good. As you say, we probably need more insight into it, because I'm going to bet that the best 2 bikes on your sheet were Mimi and Jude, who are both world champions or podium places at world championships, who have done a DEKA previously, so have felt the bike previously, and they know what to do. Whereas everyone else on your list was doing a DEKA for the first time. So the ski and the row, perfect comparison, because we would have done that in HYROX. The bike, it might have been their first time bike competition, so definitely have a look at that. Back to your point, Cheryl. Yes, the course to run was interesting. Those corners were not great, but it was what you had to do for the space you had available. It was the only way everything would fit. There were some pillars in it, and for most people, it wasn't that tough. The corners were probably only right angled on one side. The other side was quite nice. On the side near the tanks, because you had that flat area where the tanks were, those corners were kind of sharp because it went in. As Dave says, and Tanya pointed out, we have 3 laps over here, which actually came into play with the elite double male. Jeremy and Dan Norta, they ran an extra lap just before the tanks, and that lap probably took them out of the top 15 elite male, because they're probably about 18th or 19th, and I reckon had they not had that extra, whatever it is, 30-40 seconds to do a lap, then they would probably be up there. So we had that. The other thing, we have so much difference, and this probably goes to Dave's point, everything should be the same. I don't know if you realize it, we don't have buttons over here for teams.
What did you
Oh,
use?
no.
Did you know that? No, the actual chip, you have the chip in your hand and you pass it between you. So one, it can get lost easily, and we saw that again. Yeah, dropped. It was okay for me and the intern when we were racing, because I was doing all of the running, so I just kept it on my ankle and we just went round. But if you're actually switching, you have to hand it over, which is just not great. And the final thing, and Matt, I think I mentioned this to you, we didn't get wall balls. We got medicine balls for the sit-ups, which meant they came back at you very fast. So there were a few head bumps and maybe some missing teeth, which probably not a bad thing, in the UK. I'll make the joke, but yeah, it was definitely scary for anyone who's practiced that movement, how quickly those things came back at you.
Wow.
So, as many of you know, I have a relatively new-ish rower for my home gym, right? Very few miles on it, okay? What would the difference be when I show up to HYROX or DEKA with a 5-year-old machine? Is it going to be negligible? Is it going to be much faster?
It depends on the maintenance on the machine. If it's been properly maintained, it should be negligible. If it's not been properly maintained, it can be very different.
Do we have any idea what DEKA's post-event or pre-event?
I know that they clean and oil them.
Okay, clean and oil.
I don't know the specific maintenance schedule, but yeah. But
I mean, HYROX, I feel like
the
HYROX are probably, getting a lot more usage, obviously, thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I say you could, when I say everybody goes to a gym and knows the fast bike, you can have the same thing with the rowers and stuff. It just, machines, and I've said this before, this is why my personal viewpoint of the machines is I always am skeptical of it, because it can, same brand, same everything, can be so different from one to the other. And the maintenance has a big thing to do with that. So they do not provide the ultimate inconsistency that we would love them to. Unfortunately, they become just this necessary thing in almost all the races.
Except Deadly Dozen.
Except Deadly Dozen and HTX.
Ah, yes. Yeah. So what we're saying is that we're never going to be able to regulate courses across the board entirely.
I don't think I think you can be within like that kind of, that 2-3%, you can be there. But I think there's always going to be a little, but it's going to be with everything. Like, I mean, you get dead spots on a track. If you're running, you could have little potholes. There's always going to be that variance in sport that's going to get you, right? Maybe when they're building the track, there's a slight angle to it. There's just always going to be something. We're just flawed.
Right,
so
we don't want massive deviations. We want negligible deviations.
Exactly. Negligible stuff is what we're after. And the best you can do for that is proper maintenance and testing and stuff.
So Ian, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like this event was fair?
To who? Sorry, Cheryl, I'm going to answer a question with a question, but to who? To the competitors or to the wider DEKA athletes who weren't competing this weekend?
I think she wants to know, do you think the English were cheating deliberately?
I guess was it an event that people who finished deserve to be on the global leaderboard as much as anybody else?
Absolutely. And I think the times that were posted were probably about right for what you'd expect those athletes to do, if that makes sense. So we had our good friend Dave Parkin, who I know you guys love because of his perfect reps, and I was watching every single one of them.
Burpees look good.
Burpees looked impressive. But yeah, I think he posted a time that I would expect him to post, which wasn't quite elite. Is it 15 now, Dave? You're going to have to help me out. It used to be 12.
Yeah,
Is
they're
it
15.
15?
They're 15 on the board. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't quite, but he may get a roll down. And same with Mimi. Mimi was a podium placer under 24 for last year. I think she finished third overall. I think she hit a personal best, but it wasn't a personal best by 5, 6, 7 minutes. It was the sign that she's been training over the last 10 months to get better and better. She recently joined, I think, the sub 75 club at HYROX. So she's been training. And yeah, I think you shouldn't doubt the times, because I think when you add up maybe the gains on the bike and then take away the gains from perhaps the slower track, or the fact that our wall over balls were 2 kg heavier, then I believe you're having mistakes. Because I think again, thanks Tanya for this wonderful information. I think you use 18 kg balls. We use 20 kg balls. This wasn't a factor for us in the East Midlands, where it is in Spain. The Yorks that the Spanish use have triangles in the bottom corner, which means you can't step over the feet. You have to literally walk round the feet. So you've got all these variations, but as Kevin Gregory said, I think, Matt, on your post, get everyone together on the same track. Let's see how they get on. And maybe December would be a good time for that. Florida, maybe? What do you reckon?
Works for me.
That's the solution, I guess.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, yeah. I would say one last thing to say is there's many times that I've had some skepticism about some DEKA times that I've seen online or go on the leaderboard. None of the ones that I see from this weekend from England would have raised a flag with me.
Yeah, like whoever is ahead of Kevin on the DEKA Strong right now. I'm not going to believe you until you beat him in Florida. So good luck to you.
Right.
And totally, that would be something that raises a red flag.
Right. I do think as athletes, we just need to have a tolerance for everything not being perfect. And we can decide by our ticket purchases whether or not we tolerate the discrepancies, right? If we're that frustrated with the race company for the discrepancies, then we should go somewhere else. But I think for the most part, people seem to be doing their best. And with this, this may be something that DEKA may want to take a look at going forward.
And DEKA's done something just recently to help with some consistencies and to help eliminate some of this stuff. I don't know if Cheryl and I, did we talk about this?
No, what are you talking about?
This is new rule in the rule book that if for these, let's just call it an extreme outlier, some oddities, some strange things happening, that we'll be able to request a video of the course layout. And if we have a very strange, unusual, like we're talking very out of the ballpark run, a video of the run.
So when did this, we've been talking about this forever. When did this happen?
A couple days ago. This is for the 2026 season.
Okay. So the 2026 season, you're going to wait till after they do it to say, by the way, you have to film it. And then they go, too late, I didn't.
2026 season hasn't started.
I know, but that's what I'm asking though.
You better be filming
you better be filming it now.
Filming your reps.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we'll
hold on. So what I'm saying here is, if you're someone, Matt, if you put up whatever time you put up, no one's going to ask you for a video.
That is correct.
All right. and now we can use the example you brought up. If you're a gentleman who breaks Kevin Gregory's record on the strong, you should probably expect a call.
But that's what we said 2 years ago. We said, hey, why can't we just do it for the top 10? Or certainly if you're breaking a world record.
And that's what I'm telling you, is that is now an option in the rule book.
Fantastic. All right. Lots more to come on that. There's some news that just came down that I wanted to share with you guys, though. So hang on a second.
This is not what I expected him to play.
Such a good song.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
All right. The most talked about event over the weekend was people in yellow shirts that said "Fast Lane Police," which apparently had come out before that I'd never seen. But the picture that I got sent was big breaking news.
God, I thought that was AI.
It looked like it, didn't it?
It's why I put in the post, this is not a meme. This is actually happening.
Yeah, but all the AIs say that. I know that guy.
Hi. We've just been talking about you a lot.
He's the more expensive version of me.
Oh, you're muted.
Now let's just let him talk the whole time.
I said if Matt sent me the link on time, I would have been here a half hour ago.
I sent it to Underdog Fitness like an idiot.
Well, it didn't come to my email.
Well,
On Instagram, even though we had a conversation on our text and Bubbles accounts.
Even you listen, I'm going to blame AJ, whose shirt I'm wearing, that as soon as he saw that, he should have been like, oh man, this isn't for me. I'm not on the show. I'm doing a lot of things at once. And I sent it. Let's see what time I sent it. We already spent we already spent an hour talking about the bike. So I think you missed it. Yeah, I sent it at 4:17. I sent it.
I'm pretty sure I asked you at 1:25 Eastern Standard Time. Can you please send me the link before 5? You said sure. Then you sent me this long voice note, and then I'm chasing you down for the link.
I know,
at
but at
5:11.
4:17, it went to the Underdog account, to which whoever runs the Underdog account should have gone, this isn't for me. Let me fix it. So, AJ, I celebrated. I praised you earlier today, and now I'm blaming you. So
That's all right. So what did I miss here? Since I wasn't tuned in because I didn't even get notified that you were live.
we don't go live. We don't go live anymore.
All right, cool.
It wasn't worth the squeeze, as they say.
That's
well,
fine.
at the end of the day, their consensus was that it's probably fine, and we should all just kind of maybe. I'd say it's not quite fine, and I think DEKA in every country should have a list of things they buy, and those things should be delivered, including wall balls. I mean, including fucking pregnant mommy balls, including
they were little balls for those sit-ups, right?
They were heavier.
They
were heavier.
Yeah.
Oh, because they're in kilograms because they don't translate properly.
Whatever it is.
Well, that's how it balances out, Matt. Then they got heavier balls and easier bikes, so it's all gonna be a wash.
They don't understand freedom units.
Listen, I'm fine. I'm fine with a kettlebell over a dumbbell if it's the exact same weight. I'm fine with that for a farmer's, right?
What if the handle's thicker though?
That's different. Yeah, that could be really different. So, Kevin, what do you think about all this? Like, do you think it's an issue? Do you think we should be worried?
I think the people that are worried are the ones that are sitting on the bubble freaking out like, oh, I just moved down 5 spots because I got beat by all these Europeans that had an easy bike and I suck at the bike. But I mean, there's standardized equipment that's on the list, but it's mostly based on what's available here, or we'll call it North American, Dave. But even though, I mean, in Canada, you still have Extreme Monkey things, which
not Concept 2. Concept 2, a global company, which, by the way, is happy to work with every event I've ever spoke with. The tiniest gym in the world is like, Concept 2 is working with us. We got these great machines. Like, it's not like they're hard to get.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Concept 2 doesn't make bikes, but the other bike, I've tried a lot of bikes. Everyone knows the Echo's harder, so that's approved. But then there's the Schwinn bike, which I learned during COVID because Jack and I talked. That thing, like, max calories for an hour, you'll get like 1,200 calories. But if you do the same workout on assault, it'll be like 600. So I was like, wow, that's significantly different. And that's why Schwinns are not allowed. But all these other brands like Gym Gear. Is that the one that the Europeans use? I've never heard of that. I tried this Lycan bike recently. It looks a lot like that Gym Gear one, and I tested it, and based on my findings, very limited findings, but my average Joes had a much better time. And me and Mike Racine, whose shirt I was wearing on Saturday, but I forgot to bring it today, he did the DEKA FIT Ultra. He is equally able to do the like 15-second bike. He and I hit 30 seconds on the Lycan bike, max effort. Our RPMs are like 140, and we're at like 12 calories. So I don't, based on that scientific experiment that we did with very little amount of inputs, I don't know how they make the calories translate, because it's based on watts, and like the watts on the Echo bike can go way higher. The watts on this Lycan bike are way lower, and the watts on the Assault bike, like, I don't know if you remember, like Anthony Parasini maxed it out at 1999 for his, it maxes out. It doesn't go higher. So the size of the fan has something to do with that. The chain, I did the Assault Bike Pro X had a challenge. Assault Bike had a challenge at the DEKA FIT Austin with their Pro X model, and I was like, I'm gonna win $300, no problem. No one's gonna touch me. But that belt, I was at 75 RPMs, which is, I mean, Cheryl, you could hit 75 RPMs without maxing out, and the belt was skipping, and I'm like, what's gonna happen when I put power into this thing? And I jacked it up, and it was you just feel it slipping and skipping. And I don't know anything about cars, but I'm sure people that know how engines work can tell me why that happened or whatnot. But way different from the chain, which is another reason why the Echo's harder. But that belt, like if you stomp on it, you could feel it slide, where this one seems to be grooved because you feel it click. But either way, I'm like, I hope they're not switching to the Pro X, because that's going to take it out of my take my strength away next year.
Quick question.
Hit me.
What bike is used at DEKA FIT America?
Assault Bike Elite, which also has a fan guard on it, which makes it easier.
Who is that made by?
Assault Fitness.
Assault Fitness.
Yes.
Not Rogue.
No, Rogue is the Echo bike. I've done a DEKA FIT with the Rogue. I can still hit it pretty quick, but it hurts a lot.
Yeah, they're noticeably harder.
And it's windier.
Big fan.
So I did the 4-person relay, had 50 calories. Granted, I didn't do all 50 calories on both my 4-person teams, but my 50 calories, we were out in like, I think Yancey said 38 seconds or something.
It was around 40 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, so it was mostly me. Isaac finished it off. On the Echo bike, I've done the 50 calorie challenge, and I have not broken 60 seconds on the 50. I can do the 25 calories in under 20 seconds, but the 50, you just die.
Yeah. So, okay. So chat could be wrong here. Chat is saying, Chat is saying that for the air bike standards, you can have either an Assault, a Rogue, a Z-Bex, or a Gym Gear Tornado air bike.
Oh, well, they probably added it because the Europeans, that's what they could get.
If you go on the DEKA website, it's there, yeah.
Okay, so again, did someone think about this and think like, actually, this probably isn't a good idea? Because again, Assault is, I'm guessing, available worldwide.
I assume. Yeah. I know for gear, I've talked to Yancey a lot about this, because when we went away from the torque tanks, because that was the exclusive provider, they went to the Z-Bex tanks, and he tested it a ton, and I'm like, okay, it takes me over 2 minutes to do the torque tank, and then I go to DEKA FIT, and I'm doing the Z-Bex in 1:20 because it's sliding. And then they made, or maybe it was just the torques on the slippery floor, then they got the Z-Bex. So he's done a lot of extensive testing, considering bringing in new suppliers of equipment, so that way standardization is as best as possible. But he also doesn't want to pigeonhole gyms that I don't know where. Like I only know how to get things in America, and in Canada, I have a loose experience with Zach and Amber trying to get certain things that they have that I don't have. But outside of the continental North America, I don't like I know there's a gym in the Cayman Islands trying to become a DEKA affiliate, and the cost to ship anything there is exorbitant. And so they're trying to figure out how to get the equipment they need to be DEKA affiliates. But aside from like renting their own ship and bringing things, shipping stuff there is crazy. So I don't know all the other European countries, or Australia has a bunch of stuff. I don't know what they're using, but they've been doing DEKA longer than any other country out of North America.
Okay. And I thought we had a new Spartan pancake sponsor for the
That was just for a season. I mean, like
Not
the
even.
spring, maybe.
So a
God.
season,
Seasonal. Yes.
not a year like we typically have. A season.
Yeah,
So-
pumpkin spice pancakes are out. We're back to dead balls from a different dead ball supplier than the Titan Fitness ones.
And
They were way better. I liked them a lot.
I can explain the change on this one.
Okay,
This
please
one-
do. By the way, Ian, if you have to jump, let us know. I know it's late over there, but happy to have you for as long as you'll stick around. I love having you, Ian.
So the pancake thing was like you say, the supplier bringing in the supply for the pancakes, right? The problem is they didn't work. They would. I know it's hard to say that like a weight didn't work, but they would hit the part of the frame on the yoke, the steel part, and start to leak everywhere. So there'd be sand all over the place. So they had to go back to a ball that was more rugged and more durable. The problem with the old ones that we used to have, and I mean Kevin can account for this from Worlds, was they started to get like bricks, and you know
they'd pop, and then like moisture would get into them because air would get out, moisture would get in, and then they'd like solidify.
Hey,
That's
Kevin,
right.
when you're not talking, you're gonna have to mute because it's really loud at that gym you're at.
Okay. This new one that they have is, you know, it's supposed to be indestructible, whatever. Anyway, whether that remains to be seen, but it has, over the couple they've used it, it has held up well.
So who makes these new balls?
I can't remember the name of the company.
D-balls.
D-ball?
D-balls, I think.
Yeah.
D-balls.
I opened the boxes. That sounds about
There you
right. So they got different colors now. The first time we unboxed them, they were all exactly black, identical with a tiny stencil of different colors. But now we have yellow and black, so it's much better contrast.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like, you know, HYROX would make two balls that look exactly the same, no matter
The
which
6 and the 9 kilo that looks identical.
no matter which way.
Only
you
the
turn it.
judge knows which way it's supposed to read.
Only inshallah do we know. I mean, nobody knows, right?
So that is a reason for the change, is actually for the betterment, because the bags were just not holding up.
Well, here's what's interesting is that I thought it was the same manufacturers of the Spartan bells that we had for 100 years that clearly lasted all those fucking Spartan races, weather and getting thrown around.
True, those sandbags of Spartan never leaked.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying
Didn't one of the elites dump it out one time? And
you know it was Killian. You know it was.
I don't want to name drop.
You know it was Killian. Come on, we can talk about him now. He's not here anymore. So, listen. I guess at the end of the day, I do give Spartan a lot of grace because we kind of know what they're working with. So like the fact, like we would never expect HYROX to like switch a vendor mid-season, right? But DEKA, we kind of like, all right, they went with the new vendor. Like, so.
But okay, but I mean, in HYROX, actually, if they're, I mean, I'm trying to think of an equivalent. If their wall balls were leaking mid-season, I would expect them to switch the vendor so it worked right.
No, of course, but I'm just saying, like Spartan does tend to kind of be fast and loose with. Sometimes they go with really small companies because it's a good deal, and like, hey, we'll all lift the boat together. We'll get, and then that company might not be great. Like, I'm just throwing this out there, guys. For example, there was a drink sponsor that Spartan started the year with, and I think it made it about 2 races, and then that company went belly up. It's like, all right, they're not the finish line drink anymore. So you know what I mean? I'm just saying, we know Spartan's working. We know Yancey's working with a slight handicap. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to give him some grace. I just, again, I want us to be on the same level. We want DEKA to be on the same high quality level. That's all. Go ahead, Ian K.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dave, the sandbags actually do leak. And if they change them now, I'm going to be so mad at you because in the UK, I can pick up a 20 kg sandbag. It'll be 15 kg by the time I've shook it to death going up and down. So if they change them now, I'm going to be so mad. But
Ian's running races with a pocket knife in his sock and just gets there and gives a little slice on them. And
it's amazing how much sand they shed. It's actually unbelievable.
All right.
And I
Well,
think to say, on the sandbags, I broke a nail. That was a problem, right?
The sandbags hurt the tips of your fingers,
Cheryl, do
Like,
I need to
grab
make
it. Yeah,
and I don't have nails.
right. So
No,
us
okay.
girls, like, it was actually kind of a problem. The balls were
Cheryl,
great.
how much am I going to need to prepare them in Minneapolis for you? Do you have some special requests around the machines and the equipment so we don't break nails? Because I want to make sure this is right for you.
I will forward you the list. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be so. Yeah.
Kevin Gregory, as a beefy, strong
Good
man,
man.
what do you
Yes.
think of these 17 station lifetime games?
I
work
think they should have asked me when to put the event, because I have this very big charity DEKA that we're hosting here at Underdog Fitness the same day, and I would love to go debut at the Lifetime Games, because 17 stations. I mean, stations are my forte.
Right.
So
Can I just
I would
point
love
out
to do
that
it.
DEKA is 20 stations? Like, I think we're all hung up
It's
on
only
this.
11 disciplines, but that makes sense, Cheryl. I didn't think about it that way.
Right. And this is
Kevin,
actually not that many, because we're doing the row multiple times. We're running multiple times. It's actually not that many stations.
Kevin, I watched you do 3 stations in a little workout called Shallow Grave, and you kind of fucked the dog on that one.
Pacing was the key, and I didn't have the key. I did really well once. The other 4 times, not so much. Actually, only 3. Dylan, they both look the same. Mustache difference, but Dylan, he prepared properly. Kicked my ass, along with plenty of other people. Even AJ paced well and kicked my ass as well.
Do you think it's good to give people months and months to practice? Because that's what he said. He's like, hey, I did Sims and all these things, and I crushed them in the Sims. Do you think that's a good thing for a competition like that?
I mean, it shows who practiced and who didn't. It was evident on race day who was prepared.
I'm not saying you
Is it good or bad? I think, well, it's an individual race. If other races like HYROX and DEKA, we can keep practicing all year. Certain things, I mean, there's an element of surprise, and I think there's going to be the element of surprise with certain events. I mean, he even gave us details like 2 weeks out, and then the event changed. Some of the events changed a number of times.
Like, I'm not saying it has to be unknown or unknowable, but I feel like give people a couple weeks. So it's like you want to do it once, cool. But I think way in advance maybe isn't.
Well, maybe that's why you don't have your own event, Matt.
Well, maybe I'm going to put on my own.
You should. Just don't put it on the same day as something that I'm doing. We'll have to talk in advance.
Yeah, October is extremely busy. October is filled.
I want to congratulate Kevin, and I know Matt will really like this, on being the world record holder.
Thank you.
4-person relay.
I've run the most 4-person relays of anybody in the whole world. That's my record, too.
Yep.
World record.
Ian, you might have to correct me here, but you know I hate to be a hater, but I think someone claimed a UK record this weekend, and it is in fact the first ever UK DEKA Fit. So I was a little taken aback.
Forders has had road shows before. They've had DEKA Fits.
It's our 3rd DEKA Fit. We've had 3 DEKA Fits, 2 road shows, 1 arena. I was very careful with all of my content creation this weekend to make it clear. First arena.
So Forders has had fits.
Forders has had a fit. We also had a fit at Clitheroe Castle, of all places, 2 years ago. Which was
what, like 100 people at each, maybe?
Give or take. I think
All right.
Forders.
All right, fine. You can have your UK record. Fine. 3 events minimum. Great. You can have your UK record. Congratulations.
Well, I've no idea who was claiming it, by the way.
I'm being nice. I'm not calling them out.
Before we put a button on the UK, can I just say they did such a wonderful job. It did feel like the early days of HYROX there, the early 2000 people, that level of buzz in the arena. I've not heard a bad word about it. The only bad thing is from whiny Americans about bikes or something like that. But people who actually experienced it, I absolutely loved it. I'm kidding, Dustin. Love you, Lords, but I couldn't help with that.
I think we deserve it. I was curious, given how kind of HYROX conditioned the UK folks are, whether or not you think this DEKA thing is going to get legs. Was it sold out?
Was sold out, I want to say 2 or 3 times. They kept opening up waves.
Okay. All right.
So they got to a stage and they kept going. I think there's a lot of excitement. Hopefully they can release tickets for next year soon to capitalize on it because there was 2,000 happy people. Massive well done to Emily, Carrie, Fran, Grant, and the whole team out there, because it is a big thing to put on an event like a DEKA FIT, because the expectation was there. Like you say, Cheryl, people know what a HYROX looks like, and they're expecting very similar.
Mhm.
And was it the same? No, it never was going to be. Was it close enough that people thought, wow, this is a great event? Absolutely. And
Good.
we had flags.
Do you think do you think that there's even though it's not the shiny new thing, it kind of might feel like it to people, like we think kind of Deadly is like, oh, I'm mad at HYROX. It was better when it was smaller, and they're just kind of over it or whatever. And hey, I'm going to now do more Deadlies. Do we think we might get some of that? Because we know people are getting turned off by the affiliate piece, but will they turn up and race because it's new and different, even though it's not new and different or not new?
Yeah, potentially. I reckon a great number of people who were taking part this weekend have never done a mile, have never done a strong. They were doing DEKA for the very first time, and they spent probably Saturday, Sunday evening checking out their local affiliates because nobody wanted a trifecta. So I do suspect that Manchester will do well when tickets go on sale. And you're right, Matt, it does have this element of HYROX was the indie band who is now playing massive stadiums, and DEKA and Deadly Dozen are now the little indie band that people are going to their pub to watch. But I think the slight difference, I know definitely with Deadly Dozen, I don't think Jason wants it to go the same way as HYROX. He wants to keep that community feel. I suspect that DEKA, based on what we see over in America, based on what we see in Spain, will try and do the same, even if it costs them money. Because in theory, you could run it from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 10 p.m. and make a ton of money. Or you can finish it at 5 like DEKA did this weekend and like Deadly Dozen will do this coming weekend. And everyone leaves happy and not exhausted. Well, everyone's exhausted, but you get to see your loved ones when you get home.
Mm.
And
So
Jay from Deadly Dozen did his first DEKA.
yeah, Jay from Deadly Dozen did. Did you see his interview afterwards?
Yeah, man, he did great, and he had a good time, man. He put in a good time.
What's fascinating is, please don't. Again, I say don't quote me on this. I'm on a podcast. People are going to quote me on this. I'd need to check the times, but in a Deadly Dozen, Jay and Dave Parkin are not that far away from each other. They are. Dave beats Jay. He's the world record holder. It is a fact. It was called. The referee called it there and then. He beats you. But the margin in DEKA compared to Deadly Dozen is a lot bigger. And I think Jason pointed out that DEKA felt more like a running race to him. And I disagree with that. I think DEKA's more of an engine race, so not necessarily running. I think you do need to have an engine to do well at DEKA because you need to be able to move quickly between the zones, where in Deadly Dozen, the labors probably take about as much time as the running.
I just want to quickly mention that Kevin is breaking some HIPAA laws now because we're watching people go in and out of the bathroom. Sorry. You can unmute now, by the way, if I make a joke at your expense.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I think Jason said, oh, now you got to mute again. God, it's so loud. Just when you speak. Jason was happy, I think, because of that, because he thinks what he's providing is this different thing that isn't running based. And so I've got a different product, not just an alternative. And so I think he's quite pleased about that. Again, not even better or worse, just like you said, engine based versus, you don't have enough time. You're just going to run one lap and then it's back to all that fucking station work. Have you done a Deadly Strong yet, Kevin? I know the Deadly Dozen itself.
No, I have not.
Took place
It is very muscular, endurance based, and I haven't built up those endurance fibers.
But okay, I mean, I know there's not a lot of choices.
I haven't attempted one. I haven't hosted one. I haven't attempted one.
Okay. How many DEKAs do you host a year? Just your own gym.
Five.
Ooh, I guess. Right.
Nice.
Yes.
So
four in qual season, and then one after qualification ends. So like last year we did one, like kind of in the middle of the DEKA Worlds build, but more just for fun, not to like do anything serious. And then this year, because Justin and I have been raising money for this charity for 6 years or so, and finally like we're like, oh wait, we should just do a DEKA and donate all those proceeds instead of chasing down donors, which we do every year. So it'll be more fun, and we're putting it right on Halloween, or the week before Halloween, so it doesn't conflict with HYROX Atlanta. Like other things just get placed on other HYROX weekends and waited until people bought their tickets, and then we can't go to other things like DEKA that we want to go to.
Who's Jess?
Who's Jess? Jess, you need to buy Jess's shirt so then you don't forget the difference between Jess and Amber. They're two different people. Amber doesn't have an athlete shirt. Jess does, and I wore it on my individual podium this weekend.
Well, I make the same joke with you that I do with Ian, so that was more for Ian's benefit than yours.
What? I don't get it. What's the joke with Ian?
Ian's woman is named Jen, and he'll say something Jen, and I'll just always say who's Jen, and I say who's just you every time for 5 years, and you.
Her name is the intern.
The intern.
All right. Can we talk about HYROX? Can we talk about HYROX, please, now, or are we still talking DEKA?
Sure. I'll be in Boston. Are you going? I got selected for the Boston 10,000 team.
Let's give you.
You tagged me. Thanks, Matt. I applied for New York and I didn't get picked, but Boston, I'm in.
I think I tagged you and Matt Kemp.
AJ.
And Matt Kemp did not get selected either. He might have forgotten to apply, though. I don't know. What did you have to do to apply, even?
You just fill out a Google form.
Right.
That's it. It was simple. Cool. That was it.
So they're gonna kit you up, right?
Yeah, they're gonna kit me up, and if I PR, then I get some money, and if I podium, I get more money. I'm happy to go represent. I wear 10,000 shorts in all my races, so that's cool. And I like all the guys that are the Jack Driscolls and whoever else. I forget who else represented them in New York.
I own 0 10,000 clothing. I did not know they existed until I began hybrid racing. I assume the clothing's good. I think Rich wears them too, maybe.
Yeah, Rich.
It's good.
I think Kent wears them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of guys. They got a little X on the back of the leg. That's easy to spot.
Cheryl, who do you rate? What are your shorts?
Oh, whatever. Because 10,000 doesn't have stuff for girls. So I wear Athleta. I like Athleta a lot.
They selected Dr. Alondra Greenlee. They clearly are giving her a pair of shorts, right? Aren't they?
I was just on their website looking because 10,000 is sponsoring LT games too, and I'm not seeing any girl stuff at all. So
lame.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, we girls are not all built the same, and so it's harder to make clothes for us.
You think me and Kevin are built the same?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there probably are more variables when it comes to us girls, but anyway, so they just don't do it. So yeah, I'm stuck with like Athleta, LSKD, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Lulu?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yep. Still, I wore Lulu at DEKA FIT Austin. We'll figure out the outfit for LT.
Okay. Lulu is my current like regular outerwear, my non racing clothing.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen me all my sharp shirts lately? That's where they come from.
Oh. I thought guys wearing Lulu was like revoking your man card kind of thing.
They make good shit, man.
They have good stuff. Yeah.
Did you all see, by the way, that DEKA now has a pants sponsor?
An underpants sponsor?
Only in the UK.
In the UK, Oddballs brought out an exclusive DEKA boxer shorts, DEKA bralette, and DEKA bikini bottoms that you could buy at DEKA East Midlands. So, yeah, maybe, you never know.
If you're a DEKA Gitch.
Yeah. If you
wait a minute, what does that have to do with? That's where SpongeBob lives.
Bikini bottoms. Well, I don't know how. Okay, knickers. There we go.
Yeah.
We're happy with that.
My American audience does not know what knickers are. So
They're
I
undies.
saw that sponsorship. I saw that sponsorship. That was exciting. So they were only available there. You can't get them otherwise. I can't buy them now.
I'm not sure if you can buy them online, but yeah, Oddballs are in this partnership with them in the UK. Probably the American audience have no clue who Oddballs are, but they make really interesting patterned underwear. Check them out on the socials, and absolutely, Dave, you should reach out to Emily, see if she'll bring you a pair when she heads to Worlds, because you are staff,
But
it is a perk. So yeah,
are all men built the same in that area? Do they fit everyone?
well, in the UK, there was apparently no issue making ladies' pants and gentlemen's pants. They have both styles.
I need like the extra tiny. Is there an extra tiny size?
There possibly is, but I'd never talk about having an extra tiny size when it comes to underwear. But each to their own.
I'm looking online right now. Deca men's boxer, $20 American and 15 cents.
I'm down with that's okay.
I got to bring this up.
Right? Yeah.
I got to bring this up right now. Look at this.
Not bad.
But yeah, they actually had two styles. You had this black style, and you also had a red style as well.
No, the red style looked cool.
Matt, do you think we'll have some men that think those are outerwear and they just wear those as their racing bottoms?
like they do for
100%.
like mud gear and stuff?
I could
Yeah,
list
just
people
flopping
who do
around.
that. Yeah. Oh,
Where's the
Yes.
buffalo plaid ones? No lumberjack plaid. Yeah.
Pringles?
Pringles,
This is exciting. Rolling Stones? How do I have 4 alerts already? I've never logged into this website. Oh, you know what? Now I'm going to get 1,000 fucking ads. I have a friend who shall remain nameless who's 5'5". So I got I saw an ad for like these shoes you buy, which like make you 6 feet tall. And now that's all I get, by the way, in my feed is like just constant ads. And I said, listen, I'll send these to you. And he's like, okay, Matt, this is great. This is really smart. He goes, okay, let's say this works. Let's say I go to the bar and like I look attractive because I'm like 6 feet tall. What happens when I get home?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, you're already home. It's too late. Like she's already there. Like she's already in bed. You don't take them off.
Everyone's the same height when they lay down. I've
Right,
heard
that's what I
from
was trying to
short
say.
people.
I said, it's too late. She's not going to run screaming because she's like,
I'm
all right,
actually
well, I'm here.
substantially taller when I lie down.
And I said, and then he's like, right, but what about date number 2? And then you show up and you're just like, yep, this is me. So anyway.
What is this date number 2 thing?
Well, that's what I said too, but you
I'm
can't
not
say
familiar
that
with this
nowadays, Dave. You can't say that.
I'm not familiar with this term.
That's like Cheryl wanting like the hottest butts of DEKA top 10. I was like, we can't do that.
You always tell me no. I always have the best ideas.
You
Matt.
really do.
I actually think that this is a spectacular idea, Cheryl.
Listen, if we get big enough, guys, we can go Patreon only
Okay.
for that.
Extra content.
If we get
Is that the
big enough.
tagline for Oddballs? If we get big enough?
All right, can we talk about the stupid DEKA police or not? I mean, the HYROX police are
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
The best
very
butts of duck.
Let's go.
Dave's the Deca police.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave's the DEKA police. So yeah.
Dave, you trained Sam Rowell very well. He was very proud of his 4 races, 0 no reps, and now
Massive
he's awesome.
Yeah, he was great. He did great. And then he judged like all day.
And then he beat Glenn Race and Jack Bauer in the men's relay to finish men's elite first place.
How disappointing.
I mean, he did lose to a girl, but he beat Jack and Glenn, and they're
I just
pretty
want to
fast.
say, Jack, who's probably listening, Glenn, who's probably not. Glenn likes to watch the videos. Glenn, you guys disappointed me. Just want to say to your face, you guys really let me down.
Well, Lauren did throw an elbow into Glenn's ribs during the farmer carry, so
All right, well,
maybe
she learns.
that's why.
Listen,
I can't wait for
she
this
learned
old
from one of
man.
the best.
Get out
She
of the
learned
way.
from the 3-time world champ.
That was an exciting race.
Matt,
I
did you
didn't
like
know
our
you were
mic'd up? Did you like our mic'd up?
So I
DEKA Fit?
just watched that before we started, and I thought, is that Lauren's deal? Is she an influencer now? Because I thought that was very cool.
No, Robin decided. Well, actually, Isaac's girlfriend Samantha, she's an influencer, and she was like hanging out with us all weekend. But then Lauren, I think the girls had mics for our 4-person relay. And then for our doubles, Lauren and I had mics, and Robin chased us around with her roller skates, so that way she could capture our audio.
I
And
did
then
enjoy that.
I
It
like
did-
the I like
Yeah,
the
it was as good as any NFL films I've ever seen with head coaches. I thought it was super cool to hear you going through the thing. No, I really did. I thought it was cool.
Hey, did you want to talk about like HYROX police or something?
I feel like we're never going to get there. I've just given
Right, so
up.
there's a lane, and then there's a police officer that's saying he's got a speed gun, and he's like, "Oh, you're not running 414 per K pace. Get out of here."
How is he enforcing that?
That was my question, and a couple people said he just guided people over, like he just gently said, "Please go over this way."
Yep. That's
Please
cool.
stop walking in the speed lane. I mean, you look at perceived effort and you're like, all right, this person's slow. Move over. This person's moving. Great. As long as you're moving, you can stay here. If you're not moving, head over.
I've said it for both DEKA, HYROX, for everything. It shouldn't be slow, fast lane. It should be passing lane. You're passing somebody, go in there, get back out.
I like
Ian-
to stay in the passing lane until someone's coming. Then I jump out of the way to be passed and then get back in.
So Ian has been at more sold out races than we have, the packed on packed races. Is that possible, Ian, to do on these super packed races? Is it just to only make it the passing lane? Is there enough room?
The issue is everyone's selfish and everyone wants that inside lane. That's the issue. We did experiment, if you remember, with having the fast lane on the outside. So not technically the passing lane, but having a fast lane on the outside. It was an absolute disaster because all the fast guys wanted that inside lane. So they just ignored it and they just carried on plowing into people. I agree with Dave. If it was possible to rewrite the sport, absolutely have a passing lane. We had this issue actually at East Midlands. I had no clue where I was meant to be running as a slower runner because inside felt wrong. Outside, you also had the tanks. So I had no clue whatsoever. So only minor grumble of DEKA East Midlands. No clue where to run.
Yeah.
But I do feel that the HYROX police may be the solution, but they might need to change the speed to be in the fast lane because I think someone pointed out that at the moment they've regulated it to the 1%. So 99% of runners are going to be outside. I think you need to do it almost 50-50 split, or maybe he just makes a judgment call and just guides people out as needed.
What do we think about these times?
That's the problem.
I don't think the time should be, it's relevant to the crowd.
Who's out there? at the
6:26 mile 4 km. 6 minute 26 seconds per mile, 4 minutes per kilometer.
So if I'm running a 4-minute kilometer during men's over 50 age group, I'm probably in the fast lane. But if the elites are out there, I have no reason to be in that fast lane. So it's all relative to the time of the day and who's on the course with you.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a common sense and feel your way rule, but I felt if they thought we need to put something down to make it black and white. But yeah, I thought, someone was saying, Cheryl, you were asking, like, what percentage is this of people again?
I think the issue is they didn't want to put 5 kilometer mile because that seems achievable to quite a few people. And they then want to do 4:15, 4:20. So they just got stuck on 4 kilometer. They probably didn't think it through.
But if you called it a passing lane, you wouldn't have to put any of that up there.
Very true.
And I have to wonder, if you actually know your pace in a HYROX, that automatically sets you apart from probably the vast majority of people out there. Matt, do you know your pace? Like most
If I'm
people
running
are
with
just
you,
out there
Cheryl, and you tell me, then I know.
Right. Like most people are out there just having a good time. And I think that right there is in a lot of ways for me is the designator.
Do you know your pace? Nope. Great. Stay over there.
Like, are you here for fun? Here's the fun. I don't know. I
Well,
just
I mean, I think we have we have Danielle who puts that as one of the rules she goes over. I think she says that in the beginning, but I don't think maybe it's something that they give to the person, since you guys don't even do that in the UK, like when they let in the 10 o'clock wave, like, hey, by the way, if you're just here for fun, try to stay on the right. Because again, when you make it part of a big speech, you don't remember it anyway. There's too much other stuff going on, right?
Mhm.
But if it's like a general, this is kind of the way you do it. If you've ever run anything, it should transfer, right? Like I think people that have done 5Ks or trail runs know, like, oh yeah, you kind of stay over this way if you're slow, but maybe people are just oblivious.
I think it's human nature to cut the corners. I think you're going to take the path of least resistance, and that's the inside track every time. And anybody who's there, they're not trying to get in my way. They're not.
I do have a potential solution here, which is have more space between some of the waves. Prioritize the pro waves so they have an emptier track and open. Put more people in, and it doesn't matter. Open should become the give it a try, because you don't get qualifiers for it anyway. So if you're trying to get an open podium now, then really you should be in pro, because if you're thinking, oh, I want to get an open pro podium, you probably should be in pro. So give a little bit like DEKA did, give the pros an open track, and the problem should sort itself out.
But don't they not able to do that on these 20,000 4-day weekends?
They should be able to do, and they do. For the pro men in the UK, they definitely have 2 what they call dead heats to make it a little bit quieter out there. But if you can somehow make 3 or 4 dead heats so it's almost empty on the track, problem would absolutely sort itself out. And it also then encourages people who are hanging out in the open to just sandbag a podium to try and get that better race experience and then going to pro. It's almost like what we used to see in Spartan with people hanging around in age group for way too long.
Do we just run the pro waves earlier and get those out of the way?
You then don't get any volunteers. I'm kidding.
Oh, a circle.
But no, actually, the pros would love that, but it wouldn't be a great experience from a marketing point of view, because as you saw, there's no one there. That's why they run the women's.
Didn't they do that in Stockholm the one year, and it was like empty?
Yeah.
Men's pro tends to be later and later. I know that like this upcoming Atlanta race, it's like 8 o'clock at night or something crazy, like just before the relays. A lot of times it's that way.
Right.
It's early. Comparatively.
Have you run a late men's pro, Kevin? You've run men's pro.
Yeah, I ran men's pro in Vegas, so it was late and West Coast time for my East Coast mind. It was different.
Oh, I probably need to head off in a second because it is literally 11 here. But moving away from the police a little bit, Matt, sorry, I'm bringing my own topics to the show.
That's fine.
Did you see that in the Manchester 5-day HYROX, it wasn't just duplicated waves each time? For example, I don't believe there's any women's open doubles on Saturday or Sunday. They spread it out across the full 5 days. So if you wanted to run women's open doubles, you're probably taking a day off work to run it either Wednesday or Friday.
But wasn't people complaining about that on the American races too?
May have been. I'm not sure. I wasn't following. Did you have a situation? Do you have 5-day event out there?
No, but even the Friday events. Cheryl and I talked about that last week. I feel like
we're starting. That's happening this season where we're getting 3-a-day events. Where, for instance, I just signed up for women's pro doubles, and it's Friday night, and I have no other choice. Right? They're only doing it Friday night, so it's happening here as well.
All right, say bye to Kevin real quick. Bye, Kevin. Love you, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Kevin.
He's been gone all weekend.
Sounds like Home Alone. Bye, Kevin. Bye, Kevin. Bye, Kevin. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome night.
Right.
See you soon.
Side of the wet bandits.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just as bad on a 3-day, right?
Yeah, that's I didn't know. What we've traditionally seen, particularly in the UK, is what you have is Saturday and Sunday will run the traditional way, where if you didn't have your event on Saturday, it would be on the Sunday, and then Friday was run basically as a single day event. So you had everything on the Friday, just less waves. So it sounds like even in America, if you want to do women's pro doubles, you can't do it Saturday, Sunday. Oh gosh.
Correct. There's one slot for they just move through, like almost all of the women events are on Friday, and then they start with, and then there's like a whole day of relay, that sort of thing. So I think they're heading that direction.
Don't we hate a second day? Wait for to see if you earn the podium thing. Don't we hate that?
Yeah, that was my question to you, Ian. Do you think it's better to do it this way? Because personally, I do. I think it's actually better.
I do too.
Except we still have at least 2 days of each competition, with the exception of relays. Yeah, with the exception of relays, because it's a 5-day. You still have HYROX doubles women on the Friday. We have HYROX doubles women on the Wednesday as well. So if you race the Wednesday, you still have to come back on the Friday. What's interesting is Saturday is HYROX men and HYROX mixed doubles in Manchester. Sunday we've got HYROX women pro, HYROX doubles men, and HYROX men's pro. So if you're not doing that, you're going to have to be taking a day off work. Well, if you're 9 to 5, if not everyone's 9 to 5.
I think if you're going to work there, you should take a MRSA shot on Wednesday. That's a lot of fucking sweaty, gross people. Just saying.
It just, is this just getting too big?
I mean, that's nuts. I mean, that really is nuts.
It's starting to get ridiculous. That seems ridiculous. Like,
I mean, it is Mo's dream. It is Mo's dream to have the 7-day HYROX, which is a good dream, unlike the Olympics dream, which is a bad dream. I think it's kind of cool. Like, hey, we did it. We fucking this whole week we spent in the city. Like, that's kind of cool dream. But do we want that? I don't know.
That seems.
I mean, maybe one time for world championships or something like that, maybe. But even then, to me, it's like I would just my dream would be more just to have the right amount of days. And if 7's the right amount, fantastic. But I'd be more just concerned with the right amount of days.
Yeah, that's getting big.
Because I know like DEKA's going to enter that thing too, right? Like, do they add another day for extra events now and stuff? And it's
well, and I will say the 2-day event that we had in Austin, like that was a problem for us because my husband, I didn't wear a chip, but my husband did. He ran on Friday and had to wait, till Saturday to see if he needed to show back up, if he was going to be on the podium. And that's I don't ever think that's a good strategy.
Otherwise, he would have left your ass and just gone back to Vegas early.
Like, out of here.
Have some special consideration to anyone who's running the pro solos in Manchester. If you're running on Wednesday, you're going to have to wait till late on Sunday to find out if you podiumed.
Oh my goodness.
You could be in a different age group by then.
that's quite true, to be fair. But
so what's your opinion, Ian? What do you think?
I would have probably preferred it the way you explained it, even though that would upset a lot of people if you were just doing it all on one day. Yes, it would be really bad if my wave happens to be the Wednesday wave, but at least it'd be over with.
It feels like you could at least group them together, though, right? Like Wednesday, Thursdays are the women, Friday, Saturdays the men, and Sundays the relay, or something like that. It seems like you could maybe do that a little bit better.
Yeah, I liked it last year, although you did have the multiple podium days, but whereby Thursday, Friday were then repeated as Saturday, Sunday. I thought that was okay. Yes, you had to come back, but there was only then a 1 day. You had to stay over.
Okay, hear me out. Is this too simple? Awards every day, qual spots to the fastest on the weekend.
That's what we said before, a long time ago.
Send the email after the weekend's over.
But everybody gets a flag for fastest on the day. How much are the fucking flags, right?
Yep.
I like that.
That's what we said before. We said that a long time ago.
That seems like a no-brainer.
It was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that I solved a problem a year after everyone else did. Sorry.
Yeah, except the people on Wednesday get an advantage because they're running all the waves. But who cares? Just people having to hang around from Wednesday to, like you say, Cheryl, has it got too big? Like,
Feels too big. Yeah.
let's give an analogy. It'd be like going to a Coldplay concert on Wednesday, but then having to come back on the Sunday to listen to the encore.
Just waiting around. Yeah. Trying to decide if it's worth it. Watching. Yeah.
But it's like any of these things, right? You know, we talk about, we love them because of the community, because of the community, because of the community. You get so big, the community is not the community anymore.
I honestly, that's kind of how I'm feeling about the US races this year. Is it just doesn't feel like look, we were all at the same thing in the past few years, and now it's just getting spread out. There's just so many of us. It's not the same feel. And here, you know, to Ian's point about DEKA, they're keeping it small. I'm starting to become kind of a fan of that. So you always do kind of have that.
I will bristle against that one. I think it's community is what you make it, and if you choose to have an open mind about it, then if it's too big, quote unquote, you're still gonna see more people. You know what I mean? Like at my local Spartan, we all those of us that still go, usually somebody says like, I was kind of missed when there were 100 of us. Now there's only 20 of us, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it was bad when it was more crowded. So I think community is what you make it, and I think it's all what you make it. I think it's like, Cheryl, you having that experience of this made me love DEKA again, and maybe that goes away again. It doesn't have to. It doesn't mean it's your fault. At some point, you might fall back out of love with it, but at some point, it's what do I want to get out of this weekend? Is it a race? Is it community? Is it to beat my time? Right? It's like all those things are what you make of it.
Fair point.
It is a great point, and yeah, HYROX are killing it. The fact that I'm fairly sure Manchester, despite the teething things I just mentioned, I'm convinced it's sold out. I've not checked, but I reckon the only thing you could probably get is maybe an adaptive female, and of course, you need to be adaptive to have that.
Do you have thoughts on why we're still not selling out, Ian, in these cities?
Because it's a European thing, and you guys apparently hate us recently. From what I understand, we need to put more events in Canada. I'm sure Canada would sell out. Or
yeah, don't say that till we find out what happens in Vancouver.
Okay, yeah, that'll be it. Honestly, I don't know. I'm surprised that you can still buy tickets.
You can get for Chicago. You can get a pro doubles men Friday. Right now, you can get a charity pro doubles men Friday. You can get a men's relay on Friday. You can get a HYROX. You can get a charity relay on Friday. That looks like about it.
So they're starting to run out.
Nope, there's a pro women. You can do pro women on Sunday and a charity HYROX pro women on Sunday.
Pro women's usually one of the first ones to go.
So one thing to notice. The UK website is this new advanced, more intuitive version, and we still have this basic version of scrolling through this. On yours, you just click men, women, and then once you click men, it's like, do you want a pro? Do you want a double? Right? Like yours, I went on yours the other day, and yours is really cool. I can't believe they haven't figured that out for the whole world yet.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure, isn't it? It's great for the athlete, but I'm going to be selfish again. For people who are trying to find out if it's sold out yet each day, the old version is so much better because I have to go through all the options. Yeah, but in terms of the athlete, yeah, it's perfect because you know what you want to do. You know you want to do, say, a men's pro. So you no longer have to think, well, what day's men's pro on? I better go to that day and have a look. No, you just click men's pro and then it says these days are available. The end. Perfect.
None of Atlanta is sold out. I'm scrolling all the way through.
It's Halloween weekend. That's a tough one.
I don't think that matters.
Holidays.
I don't think that matters. I think Thanksgiving or Christmas is hard. I don't think people wouldn't race on. I think if you had a UK HYROX on any weekend, it's going to sell out. It doesn't matter.
I think they did almost everything wrong with Atlanta.
That including hosting in Atlanta or just generally?
No, just I mean they let the tickets go on sale late. They have it close to other races. It's just, you know, they set you for failure, Matt.
We did have this experience last year. I mentioned this, that Manchester was a sellout. Manchester November was a sellout last year, which was between two races, between, I want to say, Dublin and Birmingham. Technically a sellout, but it felt quieter on the day. So my suspicion is it sold out at level 1, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and then they didn't release more tickets for it.
Perfect example. Dallas is a couple days before Thanksgiving and all sold out. But it's also been there multiple times, right? Where it's only been here once and it was here 6 months ago. That's the other problem. It's like, I think I would have given it a year. I'm thrilled we're getting another race. But if they don't sell the tickets,
might not get a third.
It might not, exactly. So Dallas is sold out. Chicago, did we decide Chicago sold out? That's the one I just read.
No, it's not right.
Boston was the other one that was not selling very well.
Not selling very well.
Yeah.
Toronto is. We know Toronto's sold out
in minutes.
Sold out.
You know what I'm seeing here, Matt?
What's that?
Well, there's two cities that you have a connection to, that being Boston and Atlanta, and neither one of those are selling very well. So if we bring the common factor of
it's
those
clearly Matt B. Davis connections.
Your fault.
Well, the Boston was the too close to Toronto after you already sold all the tickets to Toronto, but I still would think there's enough New York, New England people that want to do it. So I don't know. I just think they haven't figured out America yet. Again, talking to Jason with Deadly, I'm like, listen, if you don't sell a lot of Deadly tickets, you can't be that mad because HYROX ain't even selling out. So we're still too scattered over here.
We got too much stuff to do.
I guess. Ian, did you get Oasis tickets?
Oasis? No, I did not. Then again, I didn't even try. I was never the biggest Oasis fan, I guess.
Someone will sing it at HYROX anyway. It's fine.
You know what I realized, actually? The British, we sing a lot. I never realized this until someone pointed it out. I went to WWE Raw the other week. We just have chants based on songs, and I didn't realize that was weird.
Yeah, well, it comes from
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, your sports teams all do it. You come up with a song for a player like as soon as he gets there, pretty much, and we've just never done that. And I love it. I think it's super cool. But I just had this thought, completely off topic. I don't care. A lot of people are posting their I'm at Oasis clips, and it made me think, like, when I was younger, if someone was coming to town, like, I had to see them because I wasn't going to see them otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a band was coming through, this is my chance to see them other than hearing them on the fucking radio and occasionally on MTV, right? Like, I've seen so many Oasis clips. I've kind of seen the show.
You couldn't pay me to go to a concert now.
Well, I go to very few, but I'm saying it. I literally had that thought when someone clipped. I'm like, well, there's another Oasis. I've seen the set list, like, you know what I'm saying? And it used to be such a thing because it meant like same thing with sports, right? Like, you didn't know everything about every team and every player, so going to a live game was kind of fucking amazing. Like, holy shit, there's Joe Montana right there. Anyway, there's me being an old guy. Sorry.
I think it's a good point. And honestly, I'm in favor of, I'm not sure if it's got to the States yet, but some concerts in the UK are phone free. So you've got to put your phone in a little pouch and just enjoy the music. And I'm in favor of that. I just enjoy the moment. You probably spend 10 hours a day on your phone anyway. What's a couple of hours?
Yeah, I don't think you could do it at the O2, can you? That's too many people.
They give you little pouches which you can put your phone in, and then it's short and it's like a magnet. They actually have them in schools as well, and then you open it on your way out.
Interesting.
And I think they also have stickers as well. The low-tech solution is give you a sticker to put on your camera phone, but I'm fairly convinced most people can figure out how to get out of that.
All right. Well, we had some other topics, but I think they can wait till next week.
Oh gosh,
Okey-doke.
have I actually stayed on? I was
Stayed
meant
on
to.
the whole bloody time. This is like you're like a kid on New Year's. You stayed up the whole bloody time. Ian K, do you know who you're going to have on this week on your podcast?
Actually, this week on Wednesday we will have. I almost said ergami. No, I will have Triathlon. Is this week talking all about their erg fest? Great conversation, and I'm not sure if Triathlon's made it to US yet.
Sponsored by
Concept 2.
Two, I believe. Yes.
Concept 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's end it there, fellas. What do you think? And lady.
Hey, whatever you want.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care.